Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's start off in Houston. Houston ISD workers are being laid off en masse.
We do begin with some shocking news to hundreds of HISD employees. They were unfortunately told today that they will be laid off at the end of the school year.
Yeah, absolutely stunned for so many families here tonight. Fox 26's Jonathan Mejia is live for us outside of HISD headquarters here this hour. Who will be impacted exactly here, Jonathan?
Yeah, Hector Mirales, the union president, confirmed with me that 300 to 350.
Hold on, man. Where your stash at, bro? Where your stash at, fam? I don't like that. Is that like a requirement? Do you get a better job or better placement if you decide not to wear no stash? Where your stash at, bro? You got a striped shirt on, a horizontally striped shirt. Dog, they must have just called him in from the street. Hey, man. Hey, John over there. He called off today. I need you to step in immediately. Okay. Cut your stash off. Oh, man. I finally got my shot. Where your stash at, man? Who told y'all that newscasters cannot wear mustache? I don't understand that jump. Look at Quentin trying to defend it. Some people don't like facial hair, Anton. Well, where did he get that shirt from? Why is it not a solid shirt? It's no collars already. So if you're going to wear a no collar shirt, you can't have stripes going down the middle of your shirt, big dog. Come on, we got to pick it up. Even the news is falling off. Good Jesus Christ.
HISD employees will no longer have their jobs by the end of the school year on June 30th. Now, this doesn't include teachers. This more so includes maintenance workers, clerks, staff that are on the ground doing the work.
A lot of them are caught off guard that this took effect immediately, 2 days after payday.
Hundreds of HISD employees were told today that they will no longer have a job at the end of the school year on June 30th and could reapply for their positions if they chose to.
What's going on right now is unjust. I think people should speak out. I think community leaders should speak out. I think people in higher places should speak out.
Hector Mirales is the union president for the Texas Support Personnel Employees Local 1 group, and he says the district did not give these employees the proper timing to seek help.
4 calendar days to get representation or to at least try to do some scheduling to schedule someone to come in to represent them. They were not allowed that at all.
HISD confirmed the layoffs and says the loss of federal COVID funding has hurt the district financially and, quote, in order to meet our students' needs, HISD must right-size our central office and find ways to operate more efficiently, end quote.
What did I tell y'all was going to happen last week? When all of this free pandemic money ran out and they start tamping back down because the federal budget calls for them to spend money over and send money over to Ukraine, Israel, Taiwan, and trying to ban TikTok. What did I tell y'all was going to happen last week en masse across all of these school districts that y'all think that y'all safe in where y'all got these jobs? No, and then they say, oh, listen, we want to keep the teachers. Okay, that's cool. We're going to get rid of the janitors. We're going to get rid of the people that do the food. We're going to get rid of the administrators. We're going to operate in a skeleton crew. We're going to do the bare minimum now that we ran out of all of this COVID money. And it's going to be mass layoffs, not just with teachers, but people that service the buildings, administration, all of that stuff. We're going to run a bare bones crew. It's going to be a bare bones crew up in these school buildings and the independent society of teachers or whatever. We don't care if you got a union. That's cool. That's cute. Go ahead and file a grievance. We getting rid of everybody. Payday was yesterday. End of the school year, you gone. Houston is broke. They ain't got no more money. The mayor said, we broke. We's broke. We ain't got $1 to spare. We not giving no more money over into the people. We don't have no more COVID's money. We's broke. He said we got to do something. The water department is stealing money. Previous mayors and administration, they was putting their homeboys on. Enrique Iglesias, you going to have to go, big dog. No more free money, no more hanging out, no more bad jobs. Y'all gonna have to go and pick some juices and berries out in the field.
But Mirales says the district needs to look to make cuts elsewhere.
Listen to the lowest employees, because they're the backbone of the school district. They're the ones that maintain it. They're the ones that keep it clean. They're the ones that repair it when repairs need to be done.
Everybody going to school online.
Now, Mirales says the hurricane season is quickly approaching, and HISD will not be prepared without these labor employees. I'm live outside the HISD headquarters. Jonathan Mejia, Fox 26 News.
We gonna find out. We got one thing for sure and two things for certain. Y'all not gonna be here next year, and so you better go and find another job. Meanwhile, Tesla is still laying off, and this time they're targeting mass layoffs, exceptionally mass layoffs over in the Bay Area and California. The Bay Area and California, and over in Texas, they're trying to change the laws that give more worker protections to prevent these mass layoffs that's been happening over in Detroit, Chicago, Canada, New York, all across the country. This has been happening for a long time. Every time that there's a new contract, they need to raise rates, they need to raise prices. You know what happens? They start laying off people.
Well, Tesla plans to lay off nearly 3,000 of its employees right here in the Bay Area. Documents filed by the company shows workers in Palo Alto and Fremont will be among the mass layoffs. Those layoffs are set to begin on June 14th. And joining me now is global strategist Dr. Olaf Groth with UC Berkeley's Haas School of Business. So thank you very much for joining us. Tesla has been struggling lately. Its first quarter profit plunged 55%. So what does this all mean for the company? What does this mean for California?
Yeah, good to be with you. This is a perfect storm for Tesla at the moment. The 2,700 employees, of course, hurt California, but in the larger scheme of things, 47,000 employees here in the state, it's probably not dramatic, but it will probably get more dramatic. Tesla is, like I said, in a perfect storm due to a few different things. One is sluggish demand because of high interest rates here in the United States, as well as a slow infrastructure build out. Then increasing price pressure, primarily due to competition from other brands here in the United States, as well as China. BYD, very prominent Chinese manufacturer, one of the biggest ones in the world for electric vehicles. And then supply chain issues due to geopolitics around the world aren't making things easier. What's looming then is also geopolitics, as well as repair costs for the Cybertruck, also expensive new development costs for the cheaper vehicle, robo-taxis, humanoid robots. There's a lot of heavy-duty expenditures coming up here for Tesla. My hunch is we're going to see more layoffs in the future, but overall, the company is well-positioned to come out the other end.
One of the things that they're saying, you know how the Tesla robot has been being rolled out and stuff like that? There's been a lot of testing, and I've been seeing a lot of videos, and maybe I'll show you guys that a little later on or later on in the week. But one of the reasons why Elon Musk, they said that he's developing a Tesla bot is to make sure that he replaces workers. Let me say that again. The Tesla robot is not so you can have a companion at home. They're saying that the Tesla bot is ultimately for you to be replaced on the lines that you then service when it comes to manufacturing facilities. They're no longer just doing robot and trying to replace you with robot arms or robotics or whatever. They're actually trying to have a replication of what you look like without getting tired and to recharge the robot up electronically so that they can then manufacture, and the only people that have to service the robots is the maintenance crew and the software engineers. That's what the word on the street is. When I was talking to a friend of a friend that knows somebody that knows somebody, they are saying that they are speeding up development of the Tesla robot to ultimately replace workers on the floor entirely. So while they are racing to try to unionize in the South, Tesla has I don't want to talk about this too much. And one of the reasons that I don't want to talk about this too much is because I actually did not plan on including this as a part of this conversation here on the Millionaire Morning Show today, because this is a part of the conversation that I want to include in order to evaluate whether or not this time in which Tesla's profit margins has dropped significantly, if it is an investment opportunity, because Tesla actually considers themselves to be more than a manufacturing company. They are a technology company. So when we go over Stock Club, if y'all not a part of the Patreon, link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. One of the things that we do is that we include the future plans, and we also go over the 8 things that we look for when we're looking to invest in a company. There is so much information that I need to share with you guys, and it's just overwhelming. So Stock Club is going to be something special this upcoming Wednesday, because we're going to talk about it extensively about what the long-term plans are of these technology companies, how they plan to make money from it, because they don't plan to just make money from the replacement of workers by saving money on having to pay health care and pensions and obligations, 401k and wages, and then also preventing them from being able to unionize, but they plan on making some money a lot of other ways. And I want to share this information with you guys. If you guys are not a part of the Patreon, then please miss me with all of the Anton, can you give me the game? How is it that you invest? What is the long-term strategy? There's a lot of other things that we need to go over. We're going to revisit the conversation from technology from when we talked about it earlier in the year in January. For those of you that are a part of the Patreon and are part of Stock Club, make sure you go and watch Stock Club in the previous versions so that we can leapfrog off of that and have this conversation in whole. So I'm going to save this. All right. I'm not going to talk about this part. Let's move over to worker protections and what they're trying to do over in Texas. Let's take a look.
Well, anytime where we have layoffs, it's going to have an impact on our community.
This week, Tesla told the Texas Workforce Commission it plans to lay off 2,688 employees from its Austin facility starting in June. That's more than 2,600 people District 2 Councilwoman Vanessa Fuentes says are now scrambling to figure out their next steps.
This is going to have a direct impact in their livelihood, how they're able to make ends meet for the families that they are supporting.
The Stock Club is Wednesday morning for Patreon members. Again, the link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat.
News comes on the heels of the company announcing income was down 55% during the first quarter of this year. There was also a 9% drop in vehicle sales year over year. Fuentes says the news surrounding these layoffs sheds light on a larger issue within the workplace.
I think it really just draws attention to the need for us to have strong workplace standards and protections in place.
I've been doing this for 30 years.
Dan Ross is a principal lawyer at Ross Scalise Law Group, a labor employment firm in Austin.
We look at the reason that the actual employee is laid off.
He says in situations involving mass layoffs, severance packages are typically issued. When that happens, the Austin-based attorney says if possible, you should see a lawyer.
To see if they have the ability to, for example, negotiate their severance package to see if it can become more reasonable.
Ross adds there can be downsides to signing a severance agreement, including being potentially sued by the company.
You just need to be careful in a severance agreement because it's very tempting to take the money and sign whatever they put in front of you.
Whatever severance packages are being offered by Tesla, Councilwoman Fuentes hopes they're at least good enough to make ends meet.
That they provided sufficient notice, that they provided pay and benefits for a sufficient amount of time to allow those individuals to seek employment elsewhere.
Listen, you can forget it. They not there to make you comfortable. They not there to make you feel good. They there to make money. The company is there to make money, and you are prohibiting them from making money because now that they have a slowdown and people can't necessarily buy cars, they don't need you to manufacture them, and you don't just get paid just for nothing. That's usually what happens when there's a slowdown or when there's actually a problem in the economy in which we're not really adding as many jobs as the federal government say that we are. So, again, Stock Club is going to be this upcoming Wednesday morning, and we're going to have that conversation, and I'm going to post that inside of the Patreon, the actual link to Stock Club, because we're going to deep dive into that, and I think that it's a lot of money to be made now that the price of the stock or the price of the brick is a little bit lower than I think it should be.